This next delightful technique is called raining claw. Raining claw is for an uppercut somewhere in the, can be in the solar plexus region or up under around where the ribs are on the side, depending on the position. A lot of boxers like to do that jab cross uppercut combination. You may practice that in class. The assumption on this technique is that the person who is already close to you. So it's not going to be a dun, 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 dun. You know, you guys are already going to be scrapping. So for this technique, we're just going to run through it, our part of it, so you can go, oh yes, again, that's the technique. So stepping forward, oh no, there it comes. At the same time here, punch, 1, 2. Let's look at the next step. Okay, so again, this technique is coming as an uppercut. So we're going to be stepping in, anchoring the elbow, arching in, guarding. This is very much a guarding technique. We talked about guarding and balancing. You want to make sure that you are balanced and that you are guarding your midsection. That will make the punch hurt, however, if it gets in less. So it's going to be an inward block on a downward angle, much like we did on alternating maces. This one we're going to be really punching a bit, guarding. Working on the timing of raining claw. Raining is going to come from overhead, so we want to try and get as much torque as possible. When we're doing the strike, we want to come down, if possible, on the bridge of the nose, and we're going to claw into the face. So first thing first, it's going to come in, you want to block that punch. So at the same time that this drops in, this is going to come here. So it's right to there. Now, normally when using a rear weapon, the rule is you're going to use a forward bow. This one, we're already so close that we can use a forward bow, absolutely. But if this is such a fast action and so close, as long as we're getting some rotation in the hips, that's okay. If you want to go here and really work your stances, that's great. What is important in this one is to make sure that you're turning your shoulders to get that reach. But again, the person is already really close to you. Normally, we would do a forward bow to get the extension on the reach, but again, he's already so close with that uppercut that there's really not a need, and we're not trying to throw him off balance with this, so we don't need to do the forward bow. Here comes the uppercut. 1, bam, here it is. Grabbing hold of his face, we're going to, and again, this is coming from on high, turning, torquing. We're going to pull, making it obscure. Right hand is going to come behind, and we're going to use our 2 knuckles right here, and we're going to hit this area right here as coming up. There are other people I've seen, and I don't have a disagreement with that, who do the whole thing as a rolling back knuckle. And for that's an option to play with later. Right now, what I would like the lower belts to work on is from here, pulling that straight into this position. The next shot that we're going to add in, now this does technically ends the base move. Our class, we like to add the next 2 movements of it just because they're cool. So from here, we're going to pull in, we just struck here. This we will probably go into a forward bow, and we're going to stick our fingers in their eye. We're not jamming it hard. We're not doing a hard forward bow. It just comes as the poke. This one we can use a forward bow. We're assuming in this situation, the ideal situation, more of a whiplash reaction, like whoa, as we pull it in and out. In theory, you know, you could be jamming it to the back of their head, crinching your fingers, ripping their faceplate off. Totally disgusting, but you could do it, and really deadly. This is more like a poke, which you may get their eyes, you might miss. So you might just be poking their head back a little bit, in which case then it would be more of a whiplash, it'd be coming back up. But that's going to feed right into the half fist to the throat. And what goes out comes back. So it's going to be 1, 2. Let's try and get a forward bow in on that eye shot to send their face back. And again, the idea is we're going for whiplash. Upper belts, play with the idea with what happens if you want to send them flying. Then are you going to need to do a push drag into that half fist, or are you going to pull in when you're grabbing like the faceplate, or maybe you want to do like triggered salute where it's going to come out and you want to anchor it down and pull it in. There's other things to play with. But for the base move, here, 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 we're going to have a stance change on the forward bow. And that is, oh, you have something you want to talk about?
So if you'll notice, some people when they do that uppercut, that there's always, once we deliver one weapon, another weapon is still available, but one of the things that we've been concentrating on and been focusing on is being able to know that as an uke, wherever the pain is, that's where our hands go. So it kind of essentially eliminates that second weapon or the follow-up weapon. So you'll see me try and enact that a little bit as we're going along here.
Excellent. That's very important to remember that the ukes do respond. There are some people say, well, gee, what about this one? Or what about, I've had people ask, what about that left hand? It's like, well, you just got your right hand destroyed, you're in a downward position, your weight's on your front foot, and I just kicked you in the groin. The chances of you throwing that other weapon are pretty well checked off. So you definitely want to be aware of what you as the uke are doing or what your uke is doing when you're doing the hitting and making sure that their responses are appropriate. Again, raining thought.